Hi, and welcome to BeerGenius.net. I have a special guest with me today, a new beer friend I found on my trip to Portland. And I guess this is the first video I've done since I moved here. It's an actual traditional video. I've done, the Oregon Brew Fest videos and maybe a couple other microfests and things like that. But this is really the first sit-down beer review that I've done in quite a while. And so, anyway, Mario Mutis.
Pleasure, everybody.
He loves beer as much as anyone, and it's a pleasure to know him. And I got this in the mail the other day from Karl Strauss. It is their Oktoberfest, and they brew it, so they say, pretty traditional in style. And interesting thing about Karl Strauss, they're one of my favorite breweries from San Diego, California. They don't distribute up here, unfortunately, but you can find them all over California.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, down in Southern California, up and down the coast entirely. They do a great Karl Fest. They do, I think it's like a bike to the beach kind of event down in San Diego throughout the year. So they're really readily available just about anywhere.
And they're pretty involved in the community down there. And from what I understand, the parties are a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, and they have a great restaurant chain to go with the food, and they match it all up. So
cool.
Good stuff.
Well, the original man behind the name, Mr. Karl Strauss himself, is German, so you would expect this to be pretty true to style. And so we're going to give it a whirl and see what we think. This beer clocks in at 5% alcohol. I think that's about right. So let's see what we're getting here. It's got a really kind of a nice color to it. It's got that toasted Märzen sort of feel already. Kind of a nice eggshell head to it.
Yeah, nice off-white.
Dig it quite a bit, actually. On the nose, you get a little bit of the toastiness. You get a whole lot of sweet. I'm getting like some honeysuckle almost.
Yeah, a little bit of honey.
Definitely just a touch of citrus, but not too much. You can easily overdo the malt in this particular style, and it looks like that's not the case here, which is really great.
I get just a slight bit of hop, maybe just like a hop oil.
Just a touch, yeah. Yeah, I can certainly see that as well. I love the Oktoberfest style because it is, you want to talk about drinkability. Thank you, Macro Brews, for coming up with that. But this is truly a drinkable beer. And when I was at Oktoberfest in Munich a couple years ago, this is the style has sort of gravitated towards a lighter style there. As far as what Spaten and Francis Connor, Paul Anner, Hacker Shore, Augustiner Brau, those big... the big original breweries in Munich.
Yeah, those are great.
It has gravitated towards a little bit lighter of a style. So it's really neat to come back into contact with this and get that malty toastiness that has sort of been lost over the past 20 years or so.
Yeah. Maybe that's something they like to appreciate here. It's being that's not a traditional style to this area, this region of the world, bringing back an original style. Right. In the way it was, brewed, rather than maybe making it comparable to a big three type beer, making it a little lighter.
Sure.
Maybe a little more marketable in some aspects. I don't know.
Absolutely. Well, more drinkable, if you will, for people who maybe aren't as appreciative of the style.
Yeah.
So
great.
Let's give this a taste, see what we think.
Yeah.
Getting a decent level of carbonation. You could definitely drink this beer all night without feeling full and bloated.
On that note, it's nice and creamy, but it's not doesn't seem filling necessarily. It's got a nice richness.
What I got on the nose is almost exactly what I'm getting on the palate as well, which is really neat. This would go great with like a lightly smoked meat of some type, like a roast perhaps. And traditional German fare, Weisswurst, which is the white sausage that they serve in Bavaria, pretzels and mustard and things like that. This is really sort of an all-purpose beer. It's not going to overpower your food, and your food shouldn't overpower this either. Yeah, which is really neat.
It would definitely go good with some mild cheeses.
Mild cheeses, like a smoked Gouda, for instance. Yeah. Like a Gruyere, perhaps. Even some softer cheeses, like a Port Salut or a Havarti or something.
Yeah, the creaminess allows for that, I think.
I think they would complement each other really well. I'm almost getting like the idea of like strawberries in this, something not too tart but kind of sweet. Would go really well with this. Your typical charcuterie meat and cheese and fruit plate that this would be phenomenal with. The beer itself, I think, is pretty true to the style.
Yeah, absolutely.
We looked up the BJCP, which is the Beer Judge Certification Program, definition of, and obviously the styles are set by the Brewers Association.
Yeah.
This is pretty much
Seems
right
to
on.
fit it. Yeah, just right on.
Absolutely. So
the head's not too persistent.
It's not
Too
which is fine.
much lacing. I mean, I guess a little lacing, but still nice nonetheless. Again, just drinkable.
Yeah.
You know, put down a few of these, no trouble.
It's a great beer.
Mm-hmm.
I like it quite a bit. As far as trueness to style, right on. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
It's
I don't
just busy enough to keep me interested.
Exactly. I was gonna say they're not going too extreme with it by any means, but they're also not underplaying any of the flavors or
Sure.
you know.
And they're good about that with a lot of their beers. Their red, for instance, just won a gold medal. Their Red Trolley,
great
which
stuff.
I reviewed somewhere down the page. You can check it out. So.
Yeah, that's great beer.
It's an awesome beer. I really, truly
That's
enjoyed
definitely
it.
one of the ones in Southern California where I'd get them a favorite Wingstop place.
Yeah.
Or, it's one you can always get around town.
Red Trolley is definitely top.
They make a mean IPA.
Yeah, they certainly do. So their Big Barrel Double IPA is also phenomenal. So anyway, I like these guys a lot. I wish they were distributed in more places. I think they do about 40,000 barrels a year. So they're actually decent size.
Yeah, it's decent size.
Decent volume. We just haven't seen them up here in Portland at all. So, nice beer. Scale of 1 to 100, just your first impressions. What do you think?
Mid to high 80s.
Yeah.
I'd probably give it around 87, 88.
I'm going to go with, right around there. An 88, absolutely. This is right on with the style. It's very drinkable. It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
And it's not offensive to somebody who maybe isn't familiar with, weird, odd, strange, sour beers.
And that can happen a lot, too, in the winter months when you get these, Imperial Porters, the stouts, and then you get all the odd flavors, cinnamon sticks being thrown into batches and, barrel aging. This is a nice transition, I think, from your light, crisp summer beers into your malt, to your sweeter.
To something heavier and more robust.
But without, making you feel full or, like you said, without being obtrusive to the palate necessarily.
Absolutely. And a nice alternative to, the latest craze within the past 5 years of pumpkin beers.
Yes, a very nice difference from the pumpkin beers.
And so this is clean, refreshing. I could drink this all night and really enjoy myself. So 88 out of 100. This is Karl Strauss Oktoberfest. Again, available in most places in California. Again, I'm with Mario Mutis. I'm Jameson Huckaba. Thank you for watching BeerGenius.net. We'll check you out next time. Prost.
Prost.